database. My name is Gumia Aston Frederick with number 2023 BIT 112PS. I'm here to present about so far where we have reached in database programming. In database we have data definition, language commands, we have data manipulation, language commands, and mainly the data definition language commands. These help us to create databases and define their structure. Then in the data manipulation, these help us to enter records into our databases. So I will begin with the data definition language commands, whereby we have the create, alter, drop, and truncate. For create, we shall use it to create the database and the tables. Then alter, can use it to change column names, to add columns. Truncate can be used to delete or records. So I'll come and say create database BIT football. Then I say show databases. As you can see, BIT football has been created. Then I will say use BIT football, meaning all the changes now I make, or the tables I'm going to create, are going in a database called BIT football. So step 1 is done, creating the database. Now I'm going to step 2 of creating a table in our database. So I will say create table, then I put the table name, which will be players. Then here I will open my brackets. So now I'm going to define the different types of columns I want, their data types and the sizes. One, I need player ID. It is an integer. It will be my primary key, and it shouldn't be null. My primary key, not null, and it should auto increment. That one is done. That's my first column. My second column, I need it to be called first name with the data type of a var character at a size of, let's say, 45. Then last name should also be a varchar with also a size of 45. I think for now I can stop on those. Then I will close my bracket and terminate. They have shown me one row affected, meaning my table has been created. Then I can say describe players. So that's the outlay of my players. It has a column of player ID, first name, last name, the data types, not null for the primary key and the player ID, others can be null, auto increment. So now the create command has been used. Now I can move forward and maybe let me say I use the alter command. The alter command can be used to add columns, modify, dropping them, renaming, etc. So I will come here and say, alter table, then my table name, which is players, alter table, then add. As I've told it, alter can be used to add columns. I go on add. So after saying add, I put like a name of a column I want to add, give it its data type and its data size. So alter table, add, let me say now I will add a column called goals, and goals will be a var char also. No, goals will be an integer of size 45. Integer of size 45. Then I terminate and say enter. So then I will again say this describe players to check if it has been added, and as you can see, goals has been, a column called goals has been added. So now I can also change the name, change a name of a column using the alter command. I say alter table, then the table name players, change, this is for changing the name, change, then I put the name of the old column or the name I have right now. Let's say I'm going to change first name, change first name, change first name, then I go ahead and put the new name I want to call it. I say I want to call it f name. I give it a data type and size, or if I want I can just leave it without giving it data type and size. Say f name, terminate. As you can see, they have told me I have an error, so I have to say alter table, then the table name players, alter table name players, change first name, change first name, change first name, then I put the new name, which will be f name, varchar, say varchar of size 45. Alter table name, change name, first name to F name, varchar size, I terminate. As you can see, now it has been created. So go to describe layers to check if the change has been made. As you can see, I had first name, now it's called F name. So I can go ahead and use that alter command to drop a column. Let's say there is a column I don't want, I can go ahead and drop it. I can say alter table, then the table name players, then I say drop column, then I put the column name which I want to drop. Let's say I want to drop the column called goals, then I terminate and say enter. Then when I come on describe players, then I terminate, you can see the column for goals has been removed. Furthermore, the alter command, as I've shown, it can be used to add, to remove, to add a column, rename a column, and also remove a column. So I think we can go to, I can also show you the truncate command, which is also under the data definition language commands. I say truncate table, then the table name players, then when I say show tables, truncate table, I will again, let me say truncate the truncate table, then the table name players, truncate players, I terminate. Say describe players, so I think drop table, can go to the drop command, drop table players, then let me say describe players. The table players doesn't exist because I have dropped it or I have deleted it. So we shall move forward to the data manipulation language commands, and these commands are used to include the insert, update and delete. So I will have to first again create my table. Since I had dropped it, create table called players. Create table players, say player ID, an integer, say primary key, not null, and auto, and it auto increments, I put a comma, go to the next. First name, say varchar of 45, varchar of 45. Then also last name, so say varchar of 45 data size. Close my other bracket, terminate. Check the manual, use auto increments. Oh, I think I have an error on the auto increment. Create player, auto here it's supposed to be auto increment, not auto increments. First name, then last name. Enter. Then I will say describe players, create describe players. So my table has been recreated. Now I will go to the insert command, which is now a sector of the data manipulation commands. It's used to add rows of data into a table. So I will come and say insert into, then the table name players, insert into the table name players. I can first put the names of the columns, or I can just go direct to the values I want to add. So I will just go direct to the values. I say insert into players, then values. These are the things I want to add. I open the brackets, player ID 1, that's for the first person. Then first name, I have to first name I have to open quotes, my quotes. quotes first name, let's say is called Aston. I close that quote, then comma, I go ahead and put the last name, which should also be in quotes. It's called Frederick. Close the quote. Then after I close the bracket and terminate, press enter. Then I can now say select all, from players, and as you can see, so far the person I've inserted, who is Aston Frederick, with the first name, last name and player ID have been inserted. I can go ahead and add in more people in the database, in the table in my database. Go and say insert into players, then values, insert into players, values. I open my brackets, second player with the name called Akandwanaho, and the last name called Joshua. Then I close my bracket, terminate, say enter. Then I go ahead and add in another person, so that I can have multiple records to use in my database, called Chirabo Victor. Go and enter. Go ahead, I add another person in the database called Fred. Watch. The fourth player, say enter, and then I can create another person called Swift. Jonathan. I come and also terminate, then enter. Then I say select all from players, so that I can see if all the records I've entered are in the table. As you can see, all the people I've entered are in my table, that is using the insert command. Then I can now go to the update. Under update, you can update it by giving the command a condition. Let's say update first name where player ID is 2, so that it only affects that part where the ID is 2. And if you don't put a condition, meaning it will affect the whole column. So I come and say update. Let's say now I will update my I update the last, let's say I will update the last name. So update players, you say update table name, you set what you want to update, then you give it a condition. So I will say update players set last name, set last name equals, put my quotes, last name equals, let me say equals Igumira, then I put my condition where player ID, where player ID equals 1. Then I terminate. After terminating, I press enter. Then I will say select all from players to check if it has been updated. Select all from players. As you can see, at the first table I had at ID1 the last name was Frederick, and now after updating the last name is called Igumira. And if I'm to update without a condition, say update, I come update set player last name equals Igumira without a condition, I terminate and say enter. When I come on select all from players, as you can see all my last names have been set to Igumira because I did not put a condition. Yeah, then you can also update multiple, you can update multiple columns. You update last name, you can say update last name equals that, then you also update the first name equals, let's say, since we had our first name here, as we choose another first name to update, let's say equals Bongole, equals Bongole, then put our condition where update player, which is the table name, set last name Igumira, first name Bongole, then you give it a condition where player ID equals, let's say 5, and terminate. Then we say select all from players, check if our update has been made. As you can see, the last person has been changed from Jonath Igumira to Bongole Igumira. Then we can go ahead and use the delete command, which is used to delete or remove records and or rows from a table. Come and say delete from, then you put the table name, delete from players, then you give it a condition where for this case the condition we shall give it is where player ID, or let's use where first name equals Chirabo, where first name equals Chirabo. And since we are using characters, it should be in quotes. If it's not in quotes, it will bring us errors. After I terminate and go on enter, then when I say select all from players, as you can see, record number 3 has been deleted for Chirabo. Since the first name was Chirabo, it has been deleted. So we can now move forward to data query languages, and these are statements used to perform queries on data within a schema object or schema object. They include select, from, ordered by, group by, having, and also limit. And with that, we can go to the select, and already for that one I think we have even already been using it. For example, the select all from players, that's one of the query commands. Maybe now what we can add in is the where clause, like selecting different parts that we want. Let's say select all from players, where select all from players. So in this query we are giving it a condition. At first we are just selecting all, but now we want to give it a condition of what it should select. So we shall say select all from players where, let's say where first name equals, open my quotes, equals coach, where first name equals coach. Then I terminate and go on enter. As you can see, they have only selected the record where the first name is coach. That's the query whereby you give it a condition with a where clause. Then now we can also sort our data either in ascending or in descending. You can say select all from players, then ordered by, that's whereby the order by clause comes in. Order by, let's say order by player ID, order by player ID, descending, meaning it should be in descending order. As you can see, they have used the player ID to sort these names, and they have started from the lowest, because when we say descending order, okay, we start from the highest to the lowest. and our highest had an ID of 5 and now is the first in our table. Meaning if we are to do with ascending, it will be the reverse. The one with ID 1 will be on top, but we can also sort by columns using the columns, whereby it will sort in alphabetical order basing on the first character. So now we can say select all from order by first, order by first name, order by first name. Then this one I want it in ascending, order by first name, ascending. When I say ascending, as you can see, it has now arranged them in ascending order. Those with the letter A are on top, then letter B, then letter C. That is sorting using the using ascending and descending using the order by query. Then we can also use the and or operator in a where clause, and in the and operator allows the existence of multiple conditions. Let's say you want to sort or to select this whereby this and this, meaning both conditions should be true. If you say player ID equals 2 and first name equals Aston, meaning those two conditions have to be true for this to run. So I will have to come and say select all from players, select all from players. Then I say where, select all from players where, I'll say where player ID equals 1 and first name equals, I open my quote, first name equals Aston, I close my quote. Remember, with the AND query or AND command, both conditions must be true. I terminate. As you can see, they have selected for me Aston, who has a player ID of 1 and the first name is Aston. Now let me show you in case one of the conditions is not true, meaning we have select all from players where the player ID equals 1 and first name. Now I will change here the first name, and let's say first name equals coach, and you will see the return. They will show you empty set, meaning one of the conditions is not true. That's why they cannot give us an outcome, because if you're to check in your table, the player ID whereby it's equal to 1, the first name is Aston, not coach, meaning it cannot return for you an output, or it only shows you an empty set. Now we can go to the OR operator, and under OR here it's not like when both conditions have to be true. One of the conditions has to be true, because in the OR command it considers both conditions. It first checks if the first condition is true, it ticks. If the second condition is also true, it ticks. But for the AND command, both conditions must be true for it to give you an outcome. So now we shall say select all from players. Select all from players. Then give it a condition where give it the condition it has to check before it gives us an output from players where player ID equals 1, or now this is the or clause, or first name, or the first name, or first name. You have to be careful of your spellings. Or first name equals, let's say, or first name equals Bongole. Close my quote, terminate, and press enter. As you can see, now it has returned for us two different records. One with the condition whereby the player ID is equal to 1, and another whereby the condition of the first name equals Bongole. That's the OR command. It first checks for both conditions, and in case one condition is true, it ticks. If the second condition is not true, it goes to the next. And for this case, you see we passed different records. We passed a different command on the first name. So for it first checks for both conditions. That's the OR. Then there is the between operator, and for the between operator, it is used to search for values that are within a set of values, but it begins from that exact value that you give it. Let's say if you say it should check between 1 and 3, meaning 1 will also be part of the records it will return. Let's try it out and see. Say select all from players. Select all from players, where then we give it a condition it must follow, or we select a column it has to follow. Say where player ID between 1 and 4. Then we terminate and go on enter. As you can see, it has also included 1 and the exact 4 in what it has given us as an output, because the between, it does not only pick those values in the middle, it also picks the starting and the ending point. And why we are not seeing our value 3 here, or a player ID with an ID of 3, it's because we had already deleted or dropped that record earlier on. Yeah, so I hope you're on the same track for that. Then we can go on and check. We also see on the limit clause. The limit clause, this one helps us to the limit clause, it sets a limit. Let's say you tell it, get for me basing on the player ID, but I limit on 3. So it means it will choose the first three people. Or you can also first order, you like say in descending order, then you give it a limit, or you can just say limit 3, but the outputs are different. We shall first begin with the one whereby we do not order it. So we say select all from players, which is our table. Select all from players, then you say limit 2 and terminate. It will bring for you the first 2 records, since you have limited it to bring 2. Let's say we have told it limit 3. Let's see, limit 3, it will bring us the first 3 records in our table. Then what if we tell it, we say we want to first sort our data before we give it a limit? You can say select all from players, select all from players, then order by, we choose the column we want to use to order. Let's say player ID, order by player ID, and we say descending. So meaning the IDs, the player IDs should be arranged in descending order from the highest to the lowest. Order by player ID descending. Then we set the limit, our limit, where we want it to end. Limit 3, terminate and enter. As you can see, it has started from the highest, who has an ID of 5, goes to the one with an ID of 4. Since we don't have one with an ID of 3, then we go to the one with an ID of 2, neglecting the one of an ID of 1, since we have given it a limit of 3 and we have a total of 4 records, meaning 1 should be neglected. What if we tell it to do it in ascending order with a different limit? Let's say player ID, order by player ID, ascending, then a limit 3. As you can see now, it has started from the top with an ID of 1, then to an ID of 2, then an ID of 4. That is the limit clause when you add it with the order by. Then the offset, an offset with the limit clause. This is whereby, like, you tell your program or your database, I want you to give me records. You give me records, let's say starting, you give it a starting point and then you give it like a maximum. Let's say I want you to give me starting from record 2, then give me a maximum of 3 records, meaning it will start from that one with player ID number 2, it goes to the one with ID number 3 if it's there, or ID number 4, then number 5. Since you've given it a limit of 3, you give it a starting point and an ending point. That is the offset. Let's try it out and see. You say select all from players select all from players, then you say order by, select all from players, order by, you give it the part you want to use it, like the column you want it to use to sort your data. Order by player ID, order by player ID. Let's say order by player ID ascending, then you give it a limit, it should be in ascending, then a limit. I will say start from 2 to, then you give it a maximum 2, then to 3. Then I need, meaning it will start from number 2 and give you a maximum of 3 records. Terminate and say enter. And since, like you can see, our table from the start has been having, it had 5 records, we deleted 1, and when you start from 2 to the last, meaning there will not be 3 records. So it starts from the second, then those after, that's the offset close. Thank you. This has been my presentation of what I have learned so far in database programming.